She's solving mysteries in the night. She's in shadows, finding answers, shining bright light. No one's left behind, in the darkness all alone. With a heart like a siren, she brings the lost ones home. Silent cries in the dark no longer have to be, for justice wheels keep turning, granny on the beat. Broken voices find their power, call out hope again. When Granny's crime busters ride, no victims left in vain. Bravery in her veins, truth she won't disguise. With a fire in her eyes, she's got nothing to deny. Granny fights for justice, never backs down from the call. For the voiceless and the missing, she'll stand tall.
Hello, hello, everybody. How is everybody doing this fine Sunday? The sun finally came out here. We've had 2 days of rain. It's kind of a dreary. It was so dark that I had to have my light on in the morning. It was weird. Hello, Joanne. Bobby, awesome. Thank you for hitting that like button. I appreciate that. Valerie, hello, hello. Trees. Ginger, Lori, hello, hello. Brian, Kimmer, JDR, hello, hello. Hope I didn't miss anybody. Barb, hello. Good to see you. You need rain? It's probably coming your way, I would think. Typically after we get some weather, it hits you guys, so I'm hoping so. Hello, Anna. Good to see you. All right. Well, I hope you guys get it if you need it that bad. You're having a drought. Oh, no. Yeah, we've been getting your smoke from your fires up there. And oh, Ginger, I forgot to tell you, and I guess this goes for all of you Canadian people. Brenda Joe said, keep the fire smoke your way. She's really been struggling. So Kirdy, hello, hello. All right. Focus on the or spotlight on the missing. We have Jeremiah King Bennett. He's 15 years old, missing since the 8th, guys, from Tucson, Arizona. Both photos shown are of Jeremiah, and he may be in need of medical attention. These kind of things bug me when I see that. So if anybody knows anything about Jeremiah's whereabouts or how he went missing, please call the Tucson, Arizona Police Department or 911. Our kids need to be brought home. Let's not forget Jonathan Huang. Jonathan's been missing since March 30th. It's so sad, because the most recent sighting was in Kirkland, Washington on the right-hand side there. And if that's him, he looks like he's very distraught, right? So I really hope that they find him soon. He is autistic, presents himself as like an 8 or 9-year-old. So he needs to be home with mom and dad. This is the little guy that we cannot forget. I mean, I would do more shows on him if we had something to talk about with his, disappearance, but there's just we've exhausted everything, right? We've just exhausted every nuance into the investigation of his disappearance, and other than talking about the drama that goes on in this case, which I refuse to do. I just will not do it. It's ridiculous. So, but he needs to be home, right? He needs to be home with his dad. Poor guy. Travis Decker's still out there, guys. It, he's 32, 5'8", 190 pounds. He may look like any of the pictures here. The picture on the far left shows him with a ponytail down the back. So, I mean, he could look like any of these photos. If you do see him, he's probably in the Washington area. Do not approach. Call 911 immediately because he is reported to be armed and very dangerous. He's wanted for 3 counts of first-degree red rum and 3 counts of first-degree kidnapping for taking the lives of his own precious little girls here, Evelyn, Peyton, Evelyn, and Olivia, seen there with their mom. So sad. So sad. All right. Alicia, hello. Leslie, hello, hello. JDR, yeah. Brenda is really struggling. I struggle a little bit with it, but nothing like she has been. It's been awful for her. All right. So yeah, prayers for the missing children. And there's so many more than that, right? I mean, there's Summer Wells and Dylan and Holland Snap, and I mean, there's just so many. There's just so many. It would take me all day, and I still wouldn't be able to get through them all, right? I wish I could. I wish I could, because I would do it. I just have such a heart for the missing. Hello, Tammy. Good to see you. So, I was thinking we talked about the blanket yesterday in the case of Lilly and Jack. And yes, I know that that's kind of an older picture, but I love it because they're both kind of smiling there with their grandma. And I just love this picture. So I hope you guys don't mind. Usually when I would put up a younger picture of Sebastian, people would complain, but I don't think Sebastian changed that much over the years anyway. Here in Ottawa, the sun is like orange. In a few days, rain will come. Yeah. You guys seem to get it a day or so after we get it. And yesterday it rained all day long. It was dark in my house all day. And then it rained all day up until just a little bit ago today. So, yeah, I love this photo. I love this photo. Yes, justice for the missing, right? But anyway, I was talking about, yesterday we had the blanket we talked about, and I think that there really is something about the blanket, guys. I think that it's an important piece of the investigation because of how Daniel handled talking about the blanket. He denied it first. Now he's saying there's 2 blankets. I mean, come on. The guy, oh, he makes me angry, honestly. Well, and you know what? What it shows to me, because we have recently learned what kind of life the kids were leading before they went missing, right? And when I see this pic, I see that their lives were better, right? They had a grandma who loved them, they loved her, right? Just a better life, right? And yeah, exactly, Joanne. They look so happy there. You know, even little Jack got a little bit of a grin on his face right there, right? Hello, Julie. Three or four new children go missing. I know. I don't know what the average is, but it's awful. And it shouldn't be happening. We need to protect our children. They're our future, right? Oh, wow. Um, our grass is getting cut here every week for sure. I think there was one week where we did twice a week. See, that article told some truths, right? And he's gotten quiet. So that's what made me wonder, what secrets are coming out? What truths are coming out that made Daniel go so quiet all of a sudden? Is it the abuse? Right? Yes. Everybody hit that like button and we'll watch Bewitched dance. That's right. Yeah, he's a chubby little thing, isn't he? He's so cute. Just and Lily, the shape of her eyes are like half moons or something. They're just her eyes just get to me. She's beautiful, right? She's just beautiful. You haven't had rain since June and none in the forecast. Oh my goodness. Lord, let the rain we had go to Canada. I'll keep praying, guys. Yeah. Because we don't want your fire smoke coming our way either. So, and I want you guys all to have homes to live in. And oh my goodness, mass fires are never good for anybody. All right. So, yeah, I was talking about what secrets, and then I was kind of looking and I saw something that Mike the Man, he's right on top of these things. And so I thought, well, let's look at this. Granny's hogging all the rain, not because I want it. Oh my gosh. Not because I want it, that's for sure. Oh, Leslie, thank you so much. That's sweet of you. I really appreciate that. And so does Lacey. Aw, that's very sweet. It never stops raining here in the west of Ireland. Ask those weather modificator to stop messing with the jet streams that you can have it back. It does rain a lot over in Ireland, doesn't it? Ireland, Scotland, England, UK. I remember hearing this, but can't remember who shared it. Daniel had said Malaya went out that night, but didn't return until 4 a.m. I have never heard that. If Daniel said it, I don't believe it, but I have never heard that. I seriously doubt it. Hello, Crystal. You've got a point, Joanne. Maybe Daniel's worried about the hole that he's dug. Yeah, he keeps trying to fix his mess ups by adding another story on top of it. It only makes it worse. Daniel, if you're listening, it only makes it worse. Stop. Stop already. Ugh. You heard that too, huh, Alicia? I've never heard that. That's a good point about the vehicle. Um, I saw that um, on a video, and I mean, I don't know. We don't know if that's Daniel's car or not, right? So I don't know, guys. I don't know. the The point is, are we looking at the wrong thing? And the reason that I say that is I mean, yes, I could see that RCMP would want to know what vehicle it was so that maybe they could test it, whatever. But here's my question. What matters is that a vehicle was there. What, 6 times between midnight and 5 a.m.? So, what was that vehicle doing? What were they transporting things? What was going on? What happened? Here's my thinking. Something happened to the kids, however it happened, right? However it happened. So they had to transport the kids. What else did Daniel not want to be seen from his house that he had to transport away that took 6 trips? Just saying, right? Because he knew that if they're going to report the kids missing, if he had stuff he didn't want police to see, he knew they were going to search, right? Just a thought of mine, right? It's all alleged, all, you know, speculation. Yeah, Kimmer, if you find out where that was from, send me the link, email it to me. I'd like to know. You guys know that even if I don't show something, I want to know everything that you're talking about. I like to stay up on the case for sure. So many of you haven't heard that. Yeah, um, very much so. Can you imagine? It's kind of like Mike Demand said last night when we were watching that video that those two being married. What could it have been like for Daniel and Justin to grow up with those two? I'm just saying. Yeah, and isn't that is what really, really bites about when the case is this big, you don't know where you read something, right? And it's really difficult to know. But if you guys come across it, send it to me. I'd like to know. You remember hearing about Malaya being out? Interesting. Isn't that the black car at Earl's? There's a black car at Earl's, but is it Daniel's? I mean, I don't know, right? Exactly, Kimmer. So much info, and we don't know what's lies. And I try to stick with when I tell you that something's a fact, it's because that's what RCMP has said. I consider those things facts. Now, I will say this, if our CMP is lying, I can't help that. Right? But I have to take whatever law enforcement is saying as fact because we really, really cannot trust anyone in this case except Linda, in my opinion, right? You've been having the same thoughts? Yeah. And do we really want to keep track of everything that Daniel said, Leslie? I mean, he's proven that he can't be trusted at all. His sweaters that turned into t-shirts. What did Janie have in her cupboard? She said she didn't have cupboards. I mean, I don't know. I think that's a good question. Was his dad working on it? I mean, I don't know. Yeah, they can lie in order to get things said. That doesn't mean that I'm not going to trust what they're saying, though. Maybe they hoped by putting it over there that it wouldn't be on our CMP's radar, but it got to be. Yeah, the Globe said Daniel couldn't afford to fix it. Hello, White Shed Recordings. Good to see you. Welcome in. Yep, Daniel didn't file his taxes. Yep, cost the family $1,900 a month. I agree with you, Bobby. Can't you named them all? Daniel, Janie, Malaya, Durwood. Now we've got Earl on video. Oh, also, Lori, there's something about when the kids were last heard. Granny was at 9:40 in the article. I don't know. I haven't paid much attention to that morning timeline because I don't believe the morning timeline. I believe the kids were already gone. If it comes out that I was wrong, I'll gladly admit to that. But I feel that when the lights went on in their bedroom by their stepfather at midnight, that's when they were removed from the home. That's what I think. So that whole morning garbage, all a lie in my opinion. all a script. We know it was a script because Malaya first said it and there were red flags then. And then Daniel used the same script but flipped it to be him. So we knew it was a script to begin with. So, all right, I'm going to share my screen. And we're going to find out what truth is coming out according to Mike Demand.
I hope I'm not boring you guys, but I want to do this in real time. I like to make my videos right then when it's hot on my mind, because I move very fast. And I'm also looking at Jaden Spicer. There's a lot more to come, in my opinion. There is the mother's message is so full of red flags. It always, I forget how I started learning. And you guys probably forget how you started learning about statement analysis. So things become extremely obvious to us. Plaids, Plaids, is our go-to. That is our approach. Once you got it down and you feel you have your own personal flow, which is something I always want to stress. I don't want people to do it the way I do it. I want you to develop your very own style, because there are chances that I'm able to do things, no matter how much training you have, that you may not be able to do, and you may be able to recognize things that I miss, right? So this is a team thing. Video, I spent a lot of time reading your comments because I realized the comments are getting better and better. And the idiots no longer feel, it also keeps the idiots from talking. When they see their intelligent comments, they're like, oh, crap, this channel sucks. So it makes everything easier. So the one thing that I'm happiest about is that I've set a certain pace here, because I am passionate about this, and I think it's drawing in the right people, right? So I don't make stuff up to get millions of views. Of course I need more views, and that's why sometimes I tell you guys, please, the most important thing, share it on social media. Share it wherever you're present. That helps, and that also helps you reach the right people and connect with the right people. And yes, I know in some Facebook groups, there will be Daniel's friends who talk crap about me and may not be nice to you for sharing my videos. They want me silenced. They want to discourage from people mentioning my name. They also don't want to acknowledge me more than they have to, because they don't want to give anybody any ideas to actually listen to me analyzing what Daniel has been saying. And I hope it's going to go down, because Daniel, you are your own worst enemy. It's your words. Every statement, Daniel.
Daniel, you're your own worst enemy. It's your words. That's the truth. In one of Daniel's latest press release, he stated Malaya sat down next to him and stated the kids aren't in the woods. Yeah, he's trying to push that narrative. I don't believe him at all. I doubt Malaya ever said that to him. The second dog, maybe the dog was Justin's. There was talk of Justin living on the property because he was breaking up with his wife. Yes, and now that story changed, right? Now Daniel's saying, no, he didn't live on the property. So, yeah, crazy. Yes, Malaya told Belinda Justin and Janie live in the RV. I feel the big cover up is not letting people know Justin and his dog were there. And that is the big cover up in him crying. Yeah. I believe that's a big cover up for sure. Now it's like he didn't even exist around that property. And when you look at that picture of Justin laying back on the ATV, he can't even look at Daniel. Hi, SRB. Good to see you. Yeah. Well, Tammy, I think that much of what we've forgotten isn't important because it's what Daniel said, right? Daniel or Durwood or, and I found myself doing this with Sebastian's case. If I knew it was coming from someone who had already proven themselves to lie, like Chris Proudfoot or Katie Proudfoot, I didn't retain that in my memory. I stuck with the facts, and that's what I've been doing with this case as well. So somebody may ask a random question, and I'm like, I don't know. I did hear that, but it's because it's not important, in my opinion. Yeah, he's starting to pull the dirt into the hole right over himself. He really is. He really is. All right, let's continue on. Let's hear what Mike is saying to Daniel.
That I go to, I emotionally distance myself and I assume you're going to tell me the truth. But I allow you to talk me out of it, which you successfully have from the very beginning. Daniel, it is you, your own worst enemy, and the biggest friend of statement analysis, volunteering so much information. And same with your cousin Logan and your mommy who raked.
The biggest friend of statement analysis because you keep talking, and your cousin Logan and your mommy who raked in the middle of the night. It's true. It's true. We've looked at all their statements, but I have to honestly say, so Mike says that every time he goes to look at a statement of Daniel's, he goes in, unbiased. I can't honestly say that I can anymore. Same way with Chris Proudfoot. I mean, don't you think that there's a time where you can't even be biased anymore, right? Or unbiased anymore because they've told so many lies. That's how you see them now. I agree with you, Trees. Something's coming. Something is coming. Somebody's going to break, snap, whatever. I was reminded today of a comment made by Janie of how it's going to be another like mass pew pew situation. That's scary for her to even say, guys. What goes on in the brains of these people? I want to know that they would even say that. I haven't yet, Tammy, no. Everybody seems to be so set on this case. It's been rough. Yeah. Yeah, he doesn't have Chris Proudfoot's personality, but they're similar in a lot of ways. Hello, Norbeaster. Maths, yes, Norbeaster. I'm thinking so too, Trees. And that's really true, Ginger. Just a lot of word salad from Daniel. Mostly Daniel. Say what, Osprey? I'm just repeating what Janie said. If you're talking about what I said about well, I'm honored. I'm honored to be your second granny. Lori, cadaver dogs weren't needed. The RCMP dogs are trained to smell deceased people. Cadaver dogs in Canada are only used if you're looking for a person who's been deceased for 2 or more years. Go to the RCMP site, you'll see it. Yeah. She was talking about what's the big mass shooting that you guys had in Canada? I don't remember the name of it. Yes. And trying to cover up their lies. At the very beginning, I remember seeing a dog by the trailer that looked to me like a wolf hybrid. I don't remember that, but it's possible. A pew pew. How do I explain that? The thing that a person puts in their hands to harm somebody. It goes pew pew, except louder. That was it. And I remember now, J9, because I said porta potty, and what was she talking about? Because I didn't understand what she was saying. I'd never heard of it. Now I remember. Yeah, she said it could be another porta potty situation. I understand that, Lori, but so can scent dogs. The scent dogs that RCMP have are trained to find deceased people right after death. Hello, Linda. Calling Dan a jerk is too good. Lily didn't hit Jack. I agree. Yeah, I agree. I agree 100%. Are you laughing at me, Norbeaster, because I thought it was porta potty? Come on, think of it. If you're an outsider and you hear that, and I have bad hearing to begin with, so I have a hearing in, which kind of distorts everything. So you can kind of understand why I thought it said porta potty. Yes, trees. That midnight to 5 a.m. time frame really does change a lot of things, especially with that vehicle. You know, we have another missing child's case who now looks like they were taken away in the middle of the night. Another strange vehicle, right? Yes. And and somebody explained that to me, Norbeaster. It was really, dark stain in your history. Um, and for Janie to use that saying it was going to be another case like awful, awful. Hello, 007. Oh, I see. Pew pew. Yeah. YouTube doesn't like us to use the word. So we try to come up with other things to make it more pleasing to YouTube, which is ridiculous. It's like we can't even say, the word for red rum. We have to say red rum. Oh my gosh. Ginger, help me. Was it in that interview? Because we talked about it here. That's how I came up with porta potty. We were listening to it. Or was it in those audio files? I'll tell you what, guys. I'll see what I can find. It won't be tonight. But I'll see if I can find it so that you guys can hear it. Because like Osprey didn't remember it either. The reason I was meaning was Daniel saying Jack's diaper would be soiled. Someone could have put it on to contain body fluid. Yeah. I mean, they could have. Do you think Daniel's that smart, though? I don't know. Hello, M. Good to see you. CBS failed these kids, in my opinion. What is taking so long for the RCMP to act on this? Rugs, black eyes, abuse, neglect. They're waiting for forensics, and that does take a while. That sometimes can take months and months, guys. So oh, thank you, Nanya. I appreciate you. It was in the audio files. Gotcha. Well, I'll have to look through the audio files online and see. Yes. And then put them together as a married couple, trees. How does that happen? Oh my gosh. I would not have wanted to live in that household. That tone in that household was loud all day long, I think. Yeah. Ginger, send me the link for that. I'll show it. Send me the link for that one. I will show it for those that are getting a little bit testy in here, which I don't like. All I can say is the RCMP found me in the middle of Nova Scotia. Cell reception is bad. Couldn't call husband for a few days. He called the RCMP. I was on a trail in the bush and they called my name. Wow. Awesome, Osprey. Yeah. I don't put law enforcement down. Not until everything is said and done and we can look at everything. We don't know what they're doing. Okay. So let's continue to listen to Daniel here.
In the middle of the night, while the whole yard looks like shit. But that night she had this energy spur where she said, "Ooh, I need to make things pretty now." Do you even understand? You guys in this family are all the same. All three of you, Logan, Daniel, Janie, have given me so much information, thinking they're doing good. Wow. My goodness. For the next 5 days, search and rescue teams poured over the area. On the 6th day of the children's disappearance, police announced they were scaling back. It was unlikely, they said, that the children were still alive. Well, I believe they knew that at night when they went to Earl Martell and also Belinda's home, because they knew these kids couldn't have walked off. So the possibilities were, yeah, somebody picked them up, but I believe they already knew Daniel was lying his ass off. And which I have mentioned in my last video. So they knew whom to look at. In the following week, searchers returned twice more. They may have, thought that the bodies have been buried somewhere in the woods. I don't know. They zeroed in around the home and the natural gas pipeline, a clear-cut trail of land that runs through the countryside where a possible child-sized footprint was found. Lilly's blanket was also nearby. Police divers scoured lakes. They drained the septic tank of the. Yeah, I'm a skeptic. That's that's a slip right here. They drained because I'm very skeptical. I read, sometimes you read what you see in your mind. They drained the septic tank of the mobile home and inspected 4 abandoned mine shafts in Lansdowne, a search that's eerily familiar for locals. In 2002, amateur mineral explorers discovered the remains of a man who had disappeared 19 years earlier in one of those these old copper mines. 39-year-old Alex Penny's car was found abandoned on a dirt road in Lansdowne months after his mysterious disappearance. It's a chilling homicide that has never been solved, one that rattles around in the collective memories of the people who live here. Police have said they plan to search more of these old mine shafts for the children. A provincial database shows 5 within several kilometers of the mobile home. Dozens more pepper the backwoods and rural highways of Pictou County. Police have described the case as highly unusual. Most missing persons cases are resolved shortly after they're reported to police, but the disappearance of Jack and Lilly has become a complex and intensive major crime Is it now a criminal investigation or not officially? I mean, I don't know, and I don't care either, right? I've told you before, the deceptive language of police has told me from the very beginning they know a lot more. They suspect a lot more than they're able and willing to say. So it doesn't matter to me. I pay attention to the statements more of the people who know what happened than what the police officially say. Police have described the case as highly involving a tremendous amount of careful, deliberate investigative work. Well, yeah. Said RCMP, I hope you watch my channel, guys. Said RCMP Staff Sergeant Rob McCaman in an update last month. Nova Scotia government offered up to $150,000 reward for information, but they didn't tell us what to look for, right? What kind of car or so. So far, the Mounties say they've drawn on units from other provinces, interrogated dozens of people, sought 10 judicial authorizations to seize records or search warrants, administered polygraph tests, took possession of electronic devices, viewed thousands of video files, and are awaiting forensic tests on items found during the search, including Lily's pink blanket. Daniel initially told police and the Globe on May 5 that the pink blanket found in the woods did not belong to Lilly. You lying bastard. But he later changed his story. That's exactly it. It was a story. In a subsequent...
I cannot believe how he gets off saying that kind of stuff. It's funny. Yeah, I agree. That family, they've been there for 4 generations, I've heard. So they've got to know that terrain pretty well. Between the ATV trails, the pipeline, and the power line, an ATV and snowmobiles in the winter can make it anywhere. Yeah. Tammy, that was me. You can always email me if you have any questions. 4 more likes, please. Then we can have our fun and dance. Mike does call a spade, for sure. For sure. Yes, Osprey. That's funny. Yeah, sounds like he knows them pretty good. I know, right? It's strange, very strange. Oh, 1 more like, guys. 1 more. Oh, there we go. All right. So let's have a little bit of fun.
Girl has got a swagger, a wild little flair, struts like a model, doesn't even care, too sexy for his chair. Yeah, he's floating on air, too sexy for his chair, too sexy, he don't care. White girl house and he's a walking affair. Oh, Durwood, you're too sexy for your chair. His reflection winks back, yeah, it knows the deal. Every step he takes, it's a catwalk reel. The world can't handle, oh, the way he feels. He's got that vibe, that glow. A little too much, but we can't say no. Too sexy for his chair. Too sexy, stop and stare. White curls shining, he's beyond compare. Oh, Durwood, you're too sexy for your chair. He's got that vibe, oh, that glow. A little too much, but we can't say no. Too sexy for his chair. Too sexy, stop and stare. White curls shining, he's beyond compare. Oh, Durwood, you're too sexy for your chair. He dances through the kitchen, spins in the hall. Even his shadow's having a ball. That chair is jealous, can't compete at all.
A little bit to make us laugh. SRB member for 7 months. Awesome. Where's that time go? My goodness. I agree with you, JDR. Malaya put her children in danger. Yeah, completely. He knows it's a lie. Is that the first time you've seen that, SRB? I keep tweaking it. I'll probably tweak it before next week again. We'll see. Oh, wow. 12-hour hospital shift. Well, I'm glad I could put a smile on your face. Oh, thank you, Leslie. You're incredible. You're awesome.
Granny wants to thank you all for kindness in the chat. Super stickers, bright and grand, gifts of love we understand.
Memberships you gifted here, spread the joy and banish fear. Every super thanks you send warms her heart and ends the end.
Granny cheers with love so true for each special thing you do. Thank you from her heart. You all play a major part.
Thank you. Cecilia, member for 6 months. I know, it's crazy. And thank you, SRB. It's the first dance party you got to see. Yep, toe tapping time, right? All right. So let's continue on with Dan or Mike. I don't know why.
In the interview, he suggested the blanket was planted, taken from his week-old garbage. He also claimed 2 of his sweaters mysteriously disappeared from his home after the kids went missing. He declined to elaborate further. Of course. Avoidance. Let's read this again. That's avoidance here with the blanket. No, it's not hers. Just let it go. But he later changed his, in a subsequent, he suggested the blanket was planted. Okay. Taken from his week old garbage. Okay. That's why he wanted. Now we understand why he felt the need to call police about the blanket.
Well, and here's the thing, guys. Daniel is being very misleading here. Not only is he lying, but he's being very misleading because Logan, remember, we listened to it yesterday, where Logan said that Daniel and his brother went. Daniel was taking, they videoed showing Daniel taking the pink blanket out of the garbage. And then he called RCMP to come get it. So, yeah, he's being misleading here because he said it disappeared from his home. Only a piece of it was in the tree, not the entire blanket. So that's really something. They start using it for the Chippendales. Yeah. Pity the police didn't take Daniel's wet clothes to test if the water he said he went into had different diatoms on them. Yeah. Who knows? Who knows, right? Yeah. And he keeps doing it. You know, have you guys ever known anyone like that? Because I have in my life. And when they get away with it all the time, they just keep doing it. And so I tried to set this person straight several times. It shuts them up for a little bit, but then they'll lie about other things, and it's like they cannot help themselves. They have to. I don't know what the point is behind it, but it sickens me. It sickens me. It makes me so angry. And that's exactly what Daniel's doing. Oh, thank you, Leslie. Well, we're glad you found your way here. Yeah, he mentioned running through the water. But did he? I mean, is he really Super Dan? I'm just saying. Is he Super Dan? I don't know. I think he likes to think so. Yeah, but you know, there's lying, but then there is compulsive lying, right? SRB? Yeah. And compulsive liars lie about everything. I mean, and it's so funny because I pointed it out to another relative, right? And now they pointed out before I even say anything. They're recognizing it now that it's, you know, and it's just frustrating as all get out. It's like, okay, you don't even want to talk to them, because it's sickening. And That's the way it is with Daniel. Daniel is such a stand-up guy, he has to go through multiple court order classes and supervised access to children. Yeah. Valerie, maybe those are the ones that Malaya took allegedly, right? Malaya took those. Oh my gosh. That'll be the next thing. Malaya took those clothes. I can't understand why law enforcement anywhere allows people to stay in homes with missing children that could be crime scenes. Yeah. Right? You would think so. Did he ever look like he was wet in any of those interviews? Because I don't remember thinking he was wet. Hi, Phoenix. Good to see you. No, I think Daniel would have had to mention it, and he never did. And I think that nobody ever asked him because nobody believes him, unfortunately, right? You got it wrong, guys. He what? I think I think spell check changed your word. I don't know what you mean, Asprey. He said he arrived back when the police were there. They would know if he was wet. Yeah. Well, they never said, but Daniel talking about hitting his noggin and the world wouldn't know how he searched for the children. Yeah. Yeah. He could hurt himself out there, running through waist deep water and over logs and running fast. Yeah, guys. Running faster than the helicopters in woods that have downed trees all the way through them and brush. Yeah. Yeah. I agree, Phoenix. I agree. It certainly displays those tendencies. That's right. That's right. Almost impaled on a branch. That's what I forgot. Yep. Yep. Maybe I need to make the leggings wet and I don't know, stick a branch somewhere. Oh my gosh, guys. He's back in 10 minutes. Yeah. Well, that was when he took the car, wasn't it? Yeah. He can't keep his story straight because he has said that he ran up into the woods first. Other stories, he said that he got into his car first and drove down the dirt roads looking in the culverts. And then he said he ran through the woods in waist deep water. He could have been impaled on a branch. It didn't even look like he broke a sweat. Being sarcastic about the waterfall. Gotcha. Yeah. Could be exaggerating because he's playing up for media. Yeah. Well, and then when he puts his hand over his eyes and turns his head away as if he's crying, but then he looks back to see if they're looking at him. I mean, you got that. You got that for sure. Yep. That's super, Dan. Well, I do know one thing. He's not Jesus. Yeah, he was running ahead of the drones and the helicopters. So was he? First of all, you can't run faster than a helicopter or a drone. I suppose you could, depending on how the drone's being operated. But a helicopter, doubtful. Don't behave. That's no fun, SRB. That's no fun. Must have been his cape they found in the tree. Could be. He sounds like he's defensive and overcompensating, but why? What did he do? Question of the day, Phoenix, right? Question of the day. Nobody does that unless they have something to hide. Right? I mean, for any of you that knows about Sebastian Rogers' case, Seth has been the most consistent person I have seen. You know, he doesn't change. He doesn't care what people think of him, right? I mean, he even called the hate channels obstacles. I mean, they're just obstacles we have to get over, Every time he goes live, he's telling us about Sebastian, asking people to help, right? He's been the most consistent. Chris Proudfoot, Katie Proudfoot, Daniel, all trying to cover their butts, make themselves look good in the media. Why? And being defensive. Oh, how many times have we heard Chris Proudfoot get defensive and angry? That man, I got to tell you. It's all fun and games until someone loses an eye running through the woods. Dan the man. Yeah. Yeah. His mom got so emotional over it not being him and her. Like, how dare we? Yeah. How dare we think that? Ridiculous. Oh, but remember, the heart doesn't lie. The heart doesn't lie. That's her infamous words. Laugh because it's meant to make you laugh, JDR. Because honestly, if I think about what Daniel's really like, that image is a far cry from it. Maybe I should make that image. I don't think any of us would want to see it. It wouldn't be funny. Awesome, Norbeaster. That sounds like a grannyism. No, it doesn't need support. The truth. Do you know what loves support? A lie. Grannyism by Norbeaster today. I'd like to introduce him to some 1,000-foot abandoned coal mining shafts here in these mountains of West Virginia. You don't have to behave, I'm telling you. the look on her face when she said he and her had nothing to do with this. It's concerning. Yeah. And what is this, Janie? Yeah. Yeah. Well, and then when you see the two of them together, it's scary. Exactly, trees. Exactly. You know, if it weren't about these two missing babies, right? You know, it just so sad. No. Right from the minute he gave his first interview, it was all about making himself look good in the media. And since then, it's all been lies and manipulation. He can't help himself, but you know, he's got to go in chats and see what people are saying about him. And then when he does answer questions in chat, he only answers the ones he wants to, that he can twist to his way of thinking. And he purposely avoids other more important questions. He doesn't answer them. That's why he won't go on panel with anybody. She was acting bizarre. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, she probably had a polygraph too. Faster than a speeding plane. Dan makes super that gives you super strength and speed. It gives him something, I don't know what. Exactly. There's no way. There is no way. I saw when they showed us that head searcher going through the woods with the reporter. I mean, there's no way anybody could run in those woods like that. No way. As thick as it is, what good would running do anyway? That tells you all in itself. If he was trying to run, he wasn't looking for Jack and Lilly. He knew they weren't there. They were never in those woods, in my opinion. He would have been in Malaya's car, yeah. Well, when he said he was running through the woods, though, in waist-deep water, he didn't have the car. Yeah. Well, and him saying, "I'm the only one, you know, out there looking for these kids." Baloney. Baloney. I mean, what about all those searchers that was out there? I know he was talking about Malaya not doing it, but I asked my man that, who is a military vet. He said if he ain't military trained, no way he's running in our woods. Yeah. About Sebastian? Yeah. Yeah. And Lori, I feel bad for Seth, right? And I surely would. I think all of you guys here know that I have a heart for Sebastian as well as Jack and Lily. You know, I have a heart for missing children, period, you know. I would continue to talk about Sebastian if there was something to talk about. So my only way of helping is to put out a short every day about Sebastian, and I changed the background on it. that's my way to help. But yeah, I'm with you, Lori. I will not watch that garbage. I'm not going to watch the mudslinging. I'm not going to. I want no part of it. I didn't want any part of it back when I was talking about Sebastian. And I don't want no part of it now, right? It's ridiculous. That's not what I'm here for, right? I'm not here to sling mud at anybody. That's why we just made it a kind of a rule on this channel. We don't talk about other channels unless we're talking about whoever I have that I'm showing that day. But we don't bring up other creators or talk about other channels. Just because I don't want to be in the middle of anything. I really don't. I try to love everybody and leave it at that because it isn't worth it. It isn't worth it. Feel the case is going the same as Sebastian's. It's getting there, isn't it? It's getting there. God says the heart does lie. Yeah. Yeah. But Janie's heart don't. What does that say, Ginger? I think that reporter was scared to death. She's probably like, why am I here? Why am I here? I agree. I think she did too. And shame on Malaya for the way she treated Grandma B, who seems to be the only one who cares about. I agree. Oh, you bring up a really good point, Phoenix. Can you imagine how little children would look at someone like that? What heart? What heart? Yeah. Oh, that's interesting. That's really true. Neither Daniel nor her brought up the fact. And guys, I will say this, okay? If Daniel took a polygraph and Wade and Cindy took a polygraph, you know that they gave a polygraph to Janie. She lives on the property where the kids went missing. Right? I mean, unless she refused to take it, which is possible as well, I guess, right? She could have. But conveniently, they're not saying anything, are they? Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, tiny. There's no way they could have been able to step over all that stuff. And guys, RCMP were there within 10 minutes. If what Malaya and Daniel said about the timeline that morning, which off to the side, I don't believe any of it. But if what they said was true, and the RCMP were there within 10 minutes and the kids had been missing for 20 minutes, the RCMP would have caught up with them very, very quickly. Very, very quickly. Yeah, I wish I could figure Malaya out, but I can't. I don't know if it's did she have postpartum? I don't know, right? I don't know. I have trouble trying to figure her out. We can only go by her actions. And her actions were that she allowed Daniel to abuse her children. She allowed herself to be abused when he pushed her down and took away her phone. Many women would not let that go by unnoticed. And she had the opportunity. The U-Haul was rented. Cindy and Wade were going to come and help her move, and she called them the day before and said, "No, I'm not leaving." So she had the opportunity to leave, and she chose not to go. That's on her. That's on her. I'd I'd love nothing better than to say I don't think Malaya is involved in anything. Blah blah. I feel so bad for her, but I can't. Not when you see her own stepfather says she doesn't even show any kind of remorse or any kind of sadness. Something's wrong there. Did they though, Trees? They tried to. I mean, I think there were a few people that believed Daniel, but I can honestly say from the beginning, I didn't. I was looking at him side-eyed from the very beginning. It didn't take me long to think, oh, something's not right here. And it could have been because of maybe something Deception Detective said or Mike DeMann, something. But I really didn't. I don't understand why they didn't split up and Jamie and him were on the same trail like former perimeter and everybody going in different directions. Yeah, I don't know. I do not know. Yeah. Yeah. He's searching the woods. Even he believes someone took the children. Make sense. Well, he was searching the woods to look good, to make himself look good. This is what I'm going to say about that. Because, first of all, I know he didn't believe that they were in the woods at all. He took them the night before. Right? So it was all an act. What bothers me is how easily they can be in a bog or a marsh or swamp. I remember as a kid almost getting sucked down the mud chasing a tadpole too far out. Oh, I don't think they got that far enough to do that, Norbeaster. I mean, I could be wrong. I think they're in the ocean, my opinion. That's a good point, Norbeaster. If they are in the woods, it's not by their own choice. Yeah. If you see something, say something. The truth will set you free. Come on and do the right thing. Absolutely, Valerie. Absolutely. Absolutely. No, Lori, I know you didn't mean me. I'm sorry if I gave you that impression. I didn't think that. Thank you, SRB. The Tin Man wanted a heart. Yeah, I don't, I mean, um, 1 minute he's saying in a text to Charmaine, I believe it was, that he would be the man that Malaya first met, right? Waterfalls, blah blah. And then the next minute he's got another girlfriend and he's telling her he loves her. Seriously. Wow. Nickname Swamp. Oh, that's icky. Teresa Davis. Why isn't the public putting the same pressure on Malaya? She would crack. Remember when Daniel asked public to leave her alone due to her mental health? Well, here's the thing. Many people are talking about Malaya. Is she listening? We don't know because she's not out and about. So we don't know if she's listening or not. We're not doing anything different, at least not here at Grandy's Crime Busters. And as far as Daniel asking the public to leave her alone due to her mental health, I don't think anybody took that seriously, because we already know we can't. I'm not going to let Daniel tell me that Malaya has mental health problems. If Malaya wants to come out and say she has mental health problems, then I will take her at her word. But I'm not going to let Daniel put that on her. Now, having said that, something definitely was wrong. She put her children in harm's way. I'm not defending her in the very least, for anything. But I will say this. There's no way that I believe Durwood's story at all. I do not believe that Malaya had the kids taken. My opinion. Cold hearts aren't capable of caring. I agree. Hello, Truth and Beauty. Good to see you. Yeah. RCMP would have found them right away. Yelling their names in the wood. Voices carry, yes. Yeah, I think she does have low self-esteem. Yeah. Yeah. No one, yeah, I don't see anyone anywhere applauding Malaya, right? The thing is, we can't go after Malaya like we did Daniel, because Malaya's not talking like Daniel's talking. I mean, Daniel won't shut up. That gives us a lot of fodder for us to figure out the truth here. Malaya's not. She's saying very little. What she is saying is very little. Yeah, JDR, right? I get this image of her wanting to be a princess and she's looking for her prince, Prince Charming, right? Yeah. She wants to be taken care of and pampered and a nanny for her children, and right? Yes, absolutely. She's not talking. She's not online that we're aware of. Then again, she may be watching this very video. So, I mean, I don't know, guys. In any case, she's not tempted to say anything. Yeah. Daniel put the pressure on himself by speaking garbage, and people are saying both are heavily involved. I believe that 100%. Oh, good point, Asprey. Looking for a father figure. Yeah. Yeah. Of course they did. I mean, they thought for sure they'd find them immediately with the amount of searchers they had out there. Absolutely. If they were in those woods, they would have found them. Unfortunately. Yeah. Fantasyland. No matter how much pressure you put on them, they're not going to tell the truth. Only police can do that with evidence or CCTV. I agree. I agree. I think that the pressure that the RCMP are putting on by, putting things out here and there. That last article, Daniel went quiet, guys. That, silence speaks volumes. Silence speaks volumes. I think there's even a quote on that. Um, yeah. Sometimes you don't have to say anything. Silence speaks it all. Yep, that is exactly what it is. Silence. Yeah. Their first interviews, absolutely, right? We knew that Malaya's was scripted. You know, and Daniel's, where to begin with Daniel's? Yeah, something was so off from the very beginning. Absolutely. That's kind of what I'm thinking as well, Alicia. I mean, of course, this is all speculation, but I kind of wonder the same thing. If she doesn't know what happened, that she may know what happened, but Daniel said, I'll take care of it. So she doesn't know where they are, right? That's what I think. Yeah. Yep. I agree. Teresa, I don't know what you mean by that, right? I mean, first of all, I'm not that type of person to put the screws to somebody. I'm going to tell what I think. I'm going to discuss it with my chat. It's not up to me to put the screws in Malaya. Right. Daniel, I mean, I don't know. Something's not right from the very beginning. And it's not all Malaya's fault. I'm going to say Malaya allowed Daniel to abuse her children. She allowed Daniel to abuse her. So who should have the screws put to them? Yeah. You don't lose a little girl who has lungs like Lilly does. Very true, Alicia. Even if all you're doing is keeping their secrets, you're involved. Exactly. What looks like Stockholm syndrome from the outside may actually be trauma bonding driven by coercive control, similar to what's seen in battered women syndrome. I agree with you, 007. I agree with you. Their behavior in the first interview, fake tears, pausing. Yeah. 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 I go back to, Daniel being an avid fisherman. Where would you try to put bodies that you don't want ever to be found? Well, Lori, I may be one of those YouTubers because I do think that one of them is going to break. I really do. I don't think that either Malaya or Daniel are very internally strong. I've said that before. And I think somebody's going to crack. Coercion from Daniel, such that she didn't trust her own thoughts. Yeah, I could agree with that. Next thing he says was his Facebook was hacked. Yeah. I'm surprised he hasn't said that before now, Lori. 10 more likes, everybody. We will we'll have a dance party. Yes. Yes, children love. Children love. They'll protect. I feel Malaya is not emotionally evolved. There are many people with much lower emotional age than Chronoline. Yeah, that's very true. Hello, Ronnie. Let's hope it's because he was arrested. Wouldn't RCMP let us know if he was arrested? I'm hoping that they would tell us. Yeah. I've wondered that sometimes as well, if she isn't working with the police, right? That's a really good point, Tammy. I find it good for the RCMP if he keeps changing his stories. This goes cold, he may revisit the site, and I hope RCMP are watching. They'll connect the dots. They sure will. That that's a good point as well, Julie. Malaya stealing credit cards and money from Patty. That doesn't speak well of her, does it? Then again, was she coerced to do that by Daniel? I'm not saying she didn't have a choice to make. She did. Yeah. I'm thinking there might be one undercover person pretty close to the situation if she's still a part of it. There's a bust in the county where benzo was part of what was confiscated. I don't want to speculate that, but this case makes the mind go to those places. Put to sleep, wake, or disoriented. Yeah. And it's like a song and dance routine that's off key and out of step. Yeah. Truth and beauty. Well, I mean, that's a possibility, I suppose. I just don't think so. The RCMP has admitted that this is the biggest search history in the history of Nova Scotia. So, I don't believe they're close to home. I just don't, for that reason. That's not to say that police missed something. I agree. Or the truth be made known. If the kids are in the ocean like I think, we may never, be able to lay them to rest. But if justice can be had, right? Either way, justice needs to be had. And it is sad. I don't think it's going to be a cold case. I really am praying that it's not going to be. I am praying that somebody breaks, that they can't handle it, and somebody's going to break and tell the truth. That's what I'm praying for. You think it'll be Malaya? And what's to say that she hasn't with RCMP? We don't know. But if she doesn't know where Daniel put the children, right? I disagree. They're not daft enough to say it was him or Malaya telling it was her. Why not just tell the police? I'm not following you, Lori. I don't know what you mean. Yeah, I'm, probably chest deep in the nonsense for sure. I mean, what it took to bring it chest deep was Durwood's garbage for sure. Hi, Melissa. Yeah, I don't know, right? That was my question. What else did Daniel need to get rid of other than the children? Rug making supplies? I'm just saying, I don't know. Here's a thought. If she knows the kids were put in the ocean, would that be a place she could go to feel their presence? That'd be where I would go if I was a mother. I'm just saying, I could be wrong. Exactly, Trees. Children love unconditionally because they are pure, they're not corrupt. They don't learn that until later, especially at 6 and 4. Although I have to say, and it breaks my heart, little Jackie boy had already learned at the age of 4 not to smile because he couldn't trust people around him. That's sad. Yeah, if it was 5-speed ATVs, guys, absolutely it would take that many trips, right? And that would also make sense as to why Janie was raking that area of the yard. Yeah. Why is she angry? I mean, seriously, guys, if you're innocent, you're not going to care what people are saying. You're going to be more concerned about those kids. If you're innocent, or if you're, if you know something and you're trying to cover things up, well, we don't know how far ahead it is. They're not going to tell us until they make that. If Malaya doesn't know where the children were put, that's a detail they're going to want to know. And the only way they're going to get that is from Dan and whoever helped Dan, right? Hello, Drippy. Yeah, I'm not an expert. Somebody brought it up last night that there are 5-speed ATVs. I didn't even know there was. My ATV was automatic. But I'm not an expert in how vehicles sound. And I drove a standard transmission, so I get that. I mean, I don't know. Well, Tammy, the fact that they said they are still planning on searching mines, that makes me wonder if they aren't searching, but they're not telling people. We don't know that. Like I said, if she doesn't know where the bodies are, if she doesn't know where Daniel put them, there's maybe still more information, just going by if she doesn't know everything, right? Yeah, I know. There are people that actually believe that they're still in the woods. I mean, the head searchers thought that the last time she was interviewed, right? Um, yeah, it would have been over in an hour if those kids were in those woods. Well, Malaya says she believes the children are alive. Does she really believe that? I don't know. But that's what she is saying publicly. See, people are saying different things. SUV with the bad exhaust sounds similar. Gear changes. Here's what I want to know. Is the Martell's SUV 5-speed? And what does it sound like? I'm just saying. Yeah. If there's more people involved, yes. Yeah. You put your kid's safety first. It's like she's a hostage to this. Yep. Alicia, would you want them to be arrested for drugs and never know what happened to the kids? Because I don't. Honestly. I don't want them to be in jail for the sake of being in jail or for some smaller offense. If Daniel did something to those kids and then hid them, I want him in jail for that. That's me, though. Janie doesn't have a heart, just a guilty conscience. Hello, Deb. Yeah, they don't want to be busted, for sure. You know, and when I say that I think they're in the ocean, that is what I think. How they got there, guys, I don't know. I've heard so many different stories. I thought the Bay of Fundy seemed like a good idea. I don't know, right? I don't live there, so I couldn't tell you. But I think that would be the easiest way if you don't want them being seen. That's my opinion. If you don't want them found. He's mocking the whole thing, yeah. Hello, Sharon. I think that possibly Malaya definitely knows what happened, but also possibly Malaya was also threatened by Daniel's family to stay quiet. Well, and we don't know if she hasn't talked. Oh, we have 50. All right, let's have a dance party.
Derwood's got a swagger, a wild little flair. Struts like a model, doesn't even care. Too sexy for his chair. Yeah, he's floating on air. Too sexy for his chair. Too sexy, he don't care. White girls bouncing, he's a walking affair. Oh, Derwood, you're too sexy for your chair. His reflection winks back, yeah, it knows the deal. Every step he takes, it's a catwalk reel. The world can't handle, oh, the way he feels. He's got that vibe, that glow, a little too much too sexy for your chair. He's got that vibe, oh, that glow. A little too much, but we can't say no. Too sexy for his chair. Too sexy, stop and stare. White girl shining, he's beyond compare. Oh, Durwood, you're too sexy for your chair. He dances through the kitchen, spins in the hall. Even his shadow's having a ball. That chair's jealous, can't compete at all.
Oh, goodness. So let's see. Raven, hello. I would love to speak with that neighbor. Yeah. Yeah. That bothered me when she said that. Mothers always think the worst. I did hear some people say that that wasn't mothers do think that. I don't know. Maybe they're right. Mothers do think that, but would you say it? I don't think I'd say it to mainstream media. You know? Oh yeah. The whole morning thing. None of that happened. I think she was told to say what she said. No, but you need some kind of evidence, right? You don't need a body for an arrest, but you do need evidence. Yeah, I mean, it'd be interesting to know what that neighbor thought. Yeah. Who knows what, I wish I knew what RCMP knows, right? Yeah, they're building a case. They are building a case, guys, and we have to be patient. Granny, just say if the kids are being hidden and they are keeping them indoors to stay out of the public, isn't this condiment charge? I don't know what you mean by that. I mean, that's a charge for sure. Definitely. Obstruction of justice, because they stated that think of everything that they put the RCMP through, right? So yeah, so obstruction of justice, big time. Yeah. And probably many more charges. They'd throw the book at him for sure. I don't think that Daniel was a big rug producer. I mean, he may have done some, but I'm glad you like him, Drippy. You can be sure they are putting together their list, Tammy. I'm sure of that. I believe that with all my heart. Daniel said people weren't at his house the night before, but he indicated just not that night, but never said before that night. Yeah. If anyone could pull off Jack and Lily's disappearance, it's the Martell Mackenzie clan. 40 plus years in the area, living coast. Wow. That's scary, 007. That is really scary. Since that article came out, many have gone silent. Yeah. Running a little bit scared, are they? Oh, that's what you meant. Forceful confinement. Kidnapping? I mean, I don't know Canada's laws real well, but yeah, why are they desperate to know where Malaya is? I hope she's being really careful. Think about how isolated she was surrounded by this clan. She likely knows too much. Yeah, and why are Daniel, Durwood, and others desperate to know where she is? What's going on, guys? Yeah, forceful confinement, but it would also be kidnapping as well, Tammy, wouldn't it? Abduction, child abduction. Yeah, makes me angry too. That's a bit scary, Teresa, right? Yeah, I haven't heard anything. It's kind of funny. Absolutely. When people are nervous, they make mistakes. And that's what the RCMP are hoping for. Guys, I'll say it again. I said it last night. RCMP know exactly what they're doing when they let that be known for that article. Good point, Sharon. I really agree with you. They are building the case. Most of us that have been following this case know in our hearts and minds who's responsible. Absolutely. Yes, Tammy, every bit that they can get on them, they will. And no plea deals in this case. Hate plea deals. They make me angry. I'm sorry. All right, let's do our grannyism for today. The truth always comes out in the end, no matter how hard anyone tries to hide it. Lies are just a temporary delay to the inevitable. So, the Martell and Mackenzie clan, do you hear this? It's true. It always comes out in the end, no matter how hard anyone tries. I mean, guys, even you hear of cold cases that, are solved years later, right? And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that this is a cold case or going there, but the truth does come out. Yeah, I know. I gotcha. No, I don't think Malaya's missing. But I think that Daniel has a order against him. And that other YouTuber wants to find her. And Durwood tries to get to her to talk to her. But yeah. All righty. And why have Durwood and the neighbor made comments they fear for their safety? Yeah. Why? What really gets me, Janie raking. First, it was because of potholes. Then she's putting a pool in. But to erase tracks from a vehicle coming and going all night makes perfect sense to me. Exactly. Exactly. Yep. It's a known tactic. And it's working. It's working. Yeah. To see the reaction. Oh, you don't think RCMP realizes that Daniel's gone silent? Yeah, I know she is. But Durwood paranoid and racist. I'm thinking his life is in danger. Yeah. Here's my thought on Durwood. Durwood is his life is more in danger from the people he's trying to protect than it is from anyone in First Nation. That's my opinion. Nunya, that's funny. He probably was. All right, guys. That's all I had for tonight. I want to thank you all for being here. I appreciate you all so very much. We always have a good time. Keep these kids in your thoughts and prayers, guys. Let's hope and pray that somebody, right? Somebody does something, tells the truth, right? Somebody tells the truth. That it's got to happen. It's got to happen because I don't believe the bodies will be found. But somebody in the know tells what they know. All right. So everybody have a great night. And we will see you tomorrow. Thank you for watching another episode of Granny's Crime Busters. We really appreciate each and every one of you. Don't forget to subscribe and like and even share the content. You can follow us on any of our other social media platforms at YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. We really appreciate you guys, and you can also email us at granniescrimebusters@gmail.com. Thank you so much, and we will see you on the next one. Thanks, guys.